Just a little bit?
All right.
Just a
Grant.
touch.
Yeah, hey Reddit.
Are you ready to do this Reddit AMA?
Oops.
Yeah,
Is Reddit watching? Hi, Reddit.
All of Reddit.
All of Reddit is watching. Wow, our
Sorry.
viewership should be real good right now.
Yeah.
Seems like it might be a little
Damn. So we are doing for the next half an hour a Reddit AU. This is more like an AUA because you're asking us anything.
Yeah.
We're all going to be here to answer your questions. We'll answer them both on, obviously here. We'll write down our answers. Maybe we'll do some video answers as well. That is an option. So I have the Reddit thread open right now. You will see probably some links to the thread in chat. If you want to ask us a question, get over to reddit.com.
Give Jared
Sure. Get over to reddit.com and ask away. I'm just going to sort of work my way down.
Sounds great.
And answer some of these questions. So, Squirrel Dragon, at the #1 upvoted right now, is how lickable is this thread?
So they're a viewer then, I guess.
So let's find out.
I'm glad we're answering questions.
That's not my laptop, is it?
No, it's mine.
Yeah, that's Matt.
We're good.
Conveniently for James, I've owned that laptop for 4 years, and I think I've cleaned the monitor once in that time.
It tastes like it.
But now
I would,
I have an excuse to clean it again.
right?
Emily.
That's what I thought. So, that was a solid.
Of course.
We're gonna say that was a solid 6.5. Reply.
Scale doesn't have a
Six.
decimals.
Right, it doesn't. All right, 6.
Okay.
Save. There we go. We answered our first question. All right.
Hey.
All right.
Easy.
Here's a good question. Sure. So actually, Graham, Kathleen, this one's for you.
Yeah.
Raising a young daughter into such publicly visible setting as streaming and Desert Bus for Hope.
Yeah.
How do you balance that? Like, as Penelope gets older, will you allow her to get more involved in Loading Ready Run and Desert Bus and streaming in general, or less, and explicitly keep her away from the internet publicly?
I think we want to let her get as involved as she wants and really not push it. Really not push it on her. She didn't ask for this.
Yeah.
Memes. Yeah, it's, I mean, you know, like she's here now and she'll pop up from time to time. She's 1, right? So, but once she starts, once we start being able to converse with her.
I mean, I think it would be, like, she's a part of our lives.
No child wants to be told that they are doing the family thing.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
She's a part of our
She's
lives.
going into the family
Exactly.
business.
She is under no pressure to stream or become a content creator. So
Like, I think it's, like, probably impossible at this point to, like, keep her completely out of the public eye.
yeah.
But at the same time, I don't want to be like, look at my baby, upvotes for me, subscribe on my channel, let me monetize her, right? Like, that's not what I'm trying to do.
Yeah,
and a
I
lot
talked
of
about
people
this-
do that with their kids online.
These episodes haven't gone up yet, but I talked about this briefly in the vlogs that I shot in Australia. Is like, she shows up a lot in those vlogs, but it's not like, look at our child, look at our child, because it's just like, this is our lives, and our lives are intertwined with Loading Ready Run, like, inexorably, and she's a part of our lives, and so that's just that. There's going to be some involvement because this is our life, but we're certainly not going to be like, dance.
Yes.
Dance, child.
Dance so we can buy another car, right? Like, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
We're going to, like, obviously we're going to try to get...
I would love to monetize Baxter, though.
Yeah.
That guy doesn't even pay rent.
I know.
We've had him for almost 4 years now. He hasn't
I
gotten
feel
a
like
job. He keeps leaving fur all over the place.
I feel like whatever Dance Moms is, we want to be doing the opposite of that.
All right, that was a good answer. And this is so what I'm going to do.
How are we going to do that? It's like the VST going to hack these
So,
up?
so that's what I was just going to say. This seems like a really good one to post the video answer of.
Right.
So VST. If you could chunk it up. If you could take that portion and upload that with like the Reddit tag and like Graham and Kathleen answer about Penelope or something like that. And then after we get off the air at 3:30, I'll actually respond with a link to the YouTube video.
Nice.
What I will respond, and then there's one additional question here. Do you ever plan to revisit making full-length sketches should a fitting script arise? If one arises and we have time, then I would say that's always a possibility.
We
right?
have one script that I really want to do.
Yeah.
So there we go.
So hopefully.
All right, so Next question
Chunk it
is
up, T.
from unpronounceable SA. I could pronounce that just fine. What Desert Bus memes that have carried over from year to year are your favorites? And this one I'm actually going to type out.
As is tradition!
I do like as is tradition.
Because especially when we all chant it together, and then it's creepy and that's delightful.
I like.
Well, and it's always when a new person shows up too, and it's like, oh, we should have you watch this thing, and then the whole chat starts screaming as is tradition, and they're like,
What?
what have I had? What? No,
I
I
like-
have to go away.
I like whale plaid because we turned like a phrase.
It was supposed to be well done.
Yeah, we turned it was well played.
Well played.
Right, we turned a congratulatory phrase into something that you can make an illustration of.
Make into a plush.
Whale plaid. This is plaid
I
whale.
would say that the meme, it started as a meme, Sweeten the Pig, has had possibly the largest impact on Desert Bus itself over the years, as it created pig sweeteners that then became a whole thing with our prizes and that. So that's a pretty huge, beloved meme.
Whether or not people like it or not, it certainly has stuck around, and that's Africa. It's stuck around.
Is it your
hard.
favorite? That was the question.
It's definitely
It's
not.
one of my favorites.
It is
actually.
like I enjoy it as long as it's not overdone, and we haven't. Ashley did it for her intro, and it was great. It was a lot of fun. But
the year we did it
but-
every like 2 hours.
yeah,
maybe.
that was too much. But
But it's really fun to scream.
It was also fun to see Ashley just run from wherever she was to get there as quick. She just come in and yell.
Yeah.
Across
Sorry.
her line.
In the
Basically,
chat,
it was
A
this.
Mechanical says, "I work at Costco, and customers are."
yeah, there it is. There we go. Sorry, go ahead, Graham.
Just in the chat, someone said, "I work at Costco, and people always come up and say that they found more than they'd expected," and I've just started responding, as is tradition.
Yes!
All right.
Real quick, as the VST pulls these together, if they want to just send me the links, I will just update them into the thread so that we don't just have like half-hour long gap. So I'll just do it in real
Sweet.
time. So just I'm not sure how the best way to get them to me is, but if you can get them to me, I'll put them up.
All right. That sounds good.
Watch the channel. Just keep refreshing the YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's honestly would probably work just fine. They get them up really fast. Admiral Mamo, we know that name. Hey, Admiral Mamo, do you believe you'll surpass DB9 in donations this year?
I think it's possible,
I think
but
it's-
it's not going to be easy.
I think it's entirely possible.
I think honestly, what makes me think it's possible is that it's year 10, and people love beating the high score.
Yep, I
Right?
agree.
I don't expect. I think that I personally do not feel a great pressure to beat Desert Bus 9. I think the viewers will probably feel a greater pressure than we do to beat Desert Bus 9.
I agree.
And I don't believe that they will feel that pressure on subsequent years.
Can I just share something from our little volunteer manual that I hand out? Right now, we've raised $326,000 for Child's Play. That is a staggering amount of money.
And we know that there'll be more because we haven't seen the shirts. There's going to be more money from merch. There's more giveaways to go.
But
right?
even if we did
Yeah.
not raise another cent,
Yeah, even if we stop right now and shut it down.
this would be an incredibly successful fundraiser. Any year that we are able to raise this amount of money is a success. Everything that we do is adding to the increased, to increased happiness all over the world. We're doing good. So it doesn't matter if we do slightly less than Desert Bus 9 good or slightly more than Desert Bus 9 good. We are raising an incredible amount of money, and there's no such, like obviously people want to beat a high score, but there's no failure in raising hundreds of thousands of dollars for charity in a week, right?
Oh darn, we only raised over $250,000 for
Yeah.
charity.
Nuts.
Oh, what a shame.
We might as well just burn
the
it all.
shame. The shame.
Yes.
All right. That was a good answer. Good answer. Good answer.
Good answer. Good answer.
Chronos Crow asks, and I think this is kind of a Jeremy question. Any plans to turn lava bears into an official module?
We've talked about it.
Yeah.
So the problems with turning lava bears into an official module largely come down at this point to my time. The amount of Jer time that is available and the amount of Jer time that can go into such an endeavor. There are notes for it.
It's a hot commodity.
It's just like literally taking all those notes and turning them into longhand. The most recent idea that we've come up with to solve that problem, to cross that bridge, is to basically hire a freelance writer to take my notes and
And
watch the
work with
series.
you work with you acting as an editor.
Right, and watch the series and have access to the notes and combine those into enough longhand to make it work. Because that is really the issue right now. Is I just have too much on my plate and have for quite a while. So still would like it to happen, but it's still in the sort of we'll see category. If you are a freelance 5th edition writer who has been published and has a portfolio, or if you know some, please let me know.
I hope everybody caught that.
All right. Good answer. Next up is a question from Jibjob. And this is I'm interested to hear people's answers on this one.
All right.
Is there any fundamental aspect of Desert Bus that you wish you could change but can't because it's either tradition and or integral to the expectations of viewers?
Ooh. Ooh. I bet there is.
I bet there
Joke
is.
answers, but-
There is. There's
there's tons of
a lot
joke answers,
A
sure.
lot of joke answers. I don't feel like we've ever forced ourselves to adhere to things that we've always done in the past just because that's how we've always done them.
No, because we definitely I think a big one is changing up how the driver shifts work.
Yeah.
Because again, the first year was 4-hour shifts, and the second year was
It was 4-hour shifts again.
Okay, then the
it
third
went
year
like
was
24
hours.
24,
24 was a
12.
mistake.
Yeah,
No,
24
that was
was a
terrible.
bad
And I'm
idea.
glad we changed that. But we did have that conversation. Like, can we changing it from 24 to 12 is making it, not as crappy for us. Will people not like it if we're not suffering as much? And then we decided, no, that's okay. That's okay. The game is the whole point. Are you kidding me? Look at this game. The game is thematically perfect too. Also,
I have a thought about one maybe. All of them are potentially a little controversial because there are a lot of us and we have different opinions on things. But one that we haven't actively discussed for a while, but has maybe come up a couple of times, is the time of year. We've kind of kept it because it's tradition, but it's not a great time of year in a certain number of ways with being so close to Christmas. And there are pros and cons.
Yeah.
But I think possibly had we had the conversation earlier than when we were kind of oh, it's really kind of just what it is now, it's possible that we would have picked a different time, or had we known going in that it would be as big as it is now. Maybe.
I was actually thinking about that last night when I was falling asleep at 6:30 or 7 o'clock in the evening because I got up at 4:30.
Right.
Was, man, I am glad Desert Bus isn't in the summer because it would still be light outside.
Yeah.
Oh, there's that.
Also, it'd be so hot in here.
It would be really, really warm in here, and so I'm kind of okay with where it fell. I agree that it's maybe not the best, but it's okay.
We've made it work.
the reason Desert Bus is the perfect game, by the way, is because it actually requires very little input, but you can still it requires very little input. It doesn't distract the driver very much, but you can still very easily mess it up. So, which is great for tension, because again, I'm having this conversation, I can do other challenges. I was playing this and another game and singing the Element song, and it was fine. But then Pokemon showed up, and I was just what's that? Off the road, right? So you still have to pay attention, so it's good. It doesn't end. It's not something we have to keep administrating. And again, the origins of it just are so thematically aligned with the origins of Child's Play that it's really perfect.
Yep. All right. Chair of Pandas would like to know, what do you do with all the hats used on Feed Dump? Do you still have them all? And if not, when was the last time you purged your collection?
We get a lot
When
of
we
hats for
moved?
Feed Dump. When we moved offices, we did a cull, to use the correct word. Basically, we take all the hats we get on Feed Dump and we hold on to them for a while. But every probably year or so, where we have an overflowing amount of hats. So what we do is we keep the very best ones, so we still have a lot of hats. And then we send the rest to charity, because if we've held on to every hat we've been given throughout the years, we would literally have a room that was just floor-to-ceiling hat boxes, and it was full of them. But I mean, many of your favorite Desert Bus hats are Feed Dump hats that we have been sent for Feed Dump. So if you find a really great hat, it may go on to immortality in Desert Bus.
Sorry, just to clarify, because Jivjov is saying that it's thematically correct because it's a video game and Child's Play donates video games. No, it's more than that. Child's Play was originally founded by the folks at Penny Arcade because a journalist in Washington State wrote an article referring to nerds as these basement dwellers who will never contribute meaningfully to society. And Penny Arcade was like, well, F you, we absolutely will. And this is, showing the power of people in our community that we can do all this good. And Desert Bus was originally created as a direct reaction to the whole, Janet Reno anti-video game thing, saying that video games cause violence, and Penn and Teller were like, well, okay, if you're saying that video games will teach you how to be a killer, then let's make a game that can teach you something else. Can we make a game that can teach you how to be a bus driver? And so it's a very similar sort of people fundamentally misunderstanding this whole thing, and so coming from that same sort of I'll show you how dumb your words are kind of thing. So that's why I really feel like Desert Bus is the perfect game to use to raise money for Child's Play.
And I just wanted to add to the feed up thing. Somebody was like, wait, does some charity have a cheese-shaped hat now? No, we kept that hat. That hat's amazing.
All right. Ghost.
No worries, Jeff.
Ghost of Jeff Goldblum. Which makes me... Wait.
I was a fan of your work.
Yeah.
I was really sad when you died in Grand Budapest Hotel.
Asks, how are you able to play this game for 12 hours at a stretch without going utterly mad?
Dude, it sucks.
Yeah, it's not a fun thing to do.
The game is not fun. After all the kind words I just said about it, the game is not fun.
No, it sucks ass.
It's everything else
Well, and
that
then the
goes...
chair
It,
really sucks too.
yeah, it's everything that goes on around you
Yes.
that makes it makes you able to sit here for 12 hours and play this game.
Also, ostensibly, we don't play it for 12 hours at a time without going mad. We kind of do.
I mean, you get to watch
the first
this.
response on the thread is, I'm pretty sure the answer to that question is
They go,
just go
yeah.
mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you're Cam, you just take frequent naps.
Damn.
I believe that's what's known as shade.
That's triangulation there.
Yeah.
All right, Moose Tetrino says,
I know that username.
what on earth triggered this in the first place way back in 2007?
James.
It was pretty simple. I started to donate to Child's Play in 2005, and then in 2006 I was like, hey, we should do something. We have this minute amount of fame and an audience of 12. We should rally them up. And
we do the gaming jokes on the internet, and Penny Arcade does the gaming jokes on the internet.
Exactly. And so we were like, we should do something. And then a year later, we did this. And it was sort of a combination of me coming to the guys and saying we should do something. Paul, around the same time, within that 1 year time frame, had found Desert Bus, or not Desert Bus, but Penn and Teller Smoke and Mirrors online.
Because we did this video called the Sleep Up Experiment, where we just tried to stay awake for 48 hours for fun. And Paul was like, maybe we can do something with this new thing called live streaming, and we can do something with that, but with Desert Bus, and just play this forever. And we're like, oh yeah, that would be funny.
Yeah.
But then
we were just like, why don't we combine the two?
Yeah.
Why not do this weird marathon-y thing where we play this game and broadcast ourselves, which was brand new technology. We were
the first video game fundraising marathon.
Yeah, and we were, even just streaming online. If you go back to Desert Bus 1 and somehow find some old archives, it does not look good. It is the definition of filming something with a potato.
What, the old stream?
Yeah.
Oh, the quality was
was absolute garbo, and it's just gotten better and better, and now we're able to broadcast in 1080, and it looks great. We basically have a TV station that we have a broadcast booth essentially that we've built over the years.
No,
thanks to Johnny, and it's just
it was originally
insane.
Ustream.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
That's what we were broadcasting.
Yeah, the
in
first
fact,
year.
if you go to the I think it's Ustream.tv, desert-bus-driver. It's either -driver or -driver cam. You can see recordings from Desert Bus 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And they are not good quality.
I do like that despite all of the improvements, we are still running an actual Sega CD into an actual VCR.
Yeah.
player.
Yep. That is actually the one thing that hasn't really changed very much. In fact, that VCR is
We could emulate it, but
about
that's
as old as this
We
ride.
talked about a couple of years ago when we were talking about doing the device. It was like, this would be so much easier if we just emulated all of Desert Bus and then and we wouldn't have to worry about all of these different components, and we wouldn't have to worry about a lot of old technology. But it didn't feel right. And actually adding a physical device that goes in between the controller and the Sega CD is actually how we ended up getting it working. And it's...
I love that we still use a real Sega CD.
Yeah, I love it
I think
too.
that's dope.
And
What happens when the VCR dies? Then we're going to be in trouble because they've stopped making them.
And the fact that we can now have people remote in to our Sega CD
Yes,
to
that's
drive
amazing.
Desert Bus is just like even more mind blowing.
Yeah, we're not bringing them into a computer. We're using a website for someone to send commands to a PC that's here, that's connected through basically serial communication to a box that is sitting in between a controller and a real Sega CD,
We didn't
so
actu-
that we can actually build
Yeah.
this.
Sorry, I saw someone else in the chat. This chair we didn't use for Desert Bus 1. We used it Desert Bus 2 the first time. The one at 1 was because it was just in our living room, so it was just like this awful green recliner. That chair broke.
And was summarily given a proper burial, which was to be taken to the dump, I recall.
All right, next up.
In my head, we put it in a dinghy and set the dinghy on fire and pushed
So we've got
pushed it into a lake.
Viking funeral.
Yeah.
If by that you mean taking it to the dump, that's
Yes.
exactly what happened, yes.
Yes.
We've got about 7 minutes left before we'll take the laptop and go answer everything else off screen and get back to the shenanigans. But in the meantime, Applesauce says, might we ever get purchasable Shane ticket pads? I would love them for personal use when watching DB at home.
Why didn't we
It's actually,
think of
that's
that?
a really good idea.
That's
Why
a
didn't
good
we think of
monetization
that?
for the charity.
Yeah, that's on
Whoops.
us.
All right. Well,
Sorry, guys.
I mean, it was last year where Trick was like, make playmats, and then playmats happened this year. So
Yeah.
I'll just have to remember the shame ticket pads for next year.
Uh,
No, I got 2. Oh, I didn't? Oh, all right.
No,
was that?
not 2 points, 2
Nothing.
bus
No,
stops.
all right. YM Petra has anyone addressed Matt's ability to predict the future after? Oh, never mind.
No.
We're not going to answer that one.
No.
Yeah. Moving on.
Don't feel great
R4.
about it.
R4 V5. You've created a thing that has really deep meaning with a lot of people, and obviously connect with both Desert Bus and Loading Ready Run. Your streams are all highly interactive as well, which leads to folks feeling a stronger connection to you than they would a TV star or something. That said, you're all individuals with your own lives. Is it a bit weird being many celebrities, or at least the recipients of asymmetrical adoration? Sometimes I realize that I don't know a bunch of stuff about you all, or I realize that I do know a bunch of stuff about y'all and feel weird.
A little, but I don't mind, I guess. We had someone come up to us at the Paxos table, and they were like, this seems super weird, but because you guys have told so many stories about, like, your past jobs or hilarious injuries that you got, or just, like, all these stories that you've told through the podcasts or through Askler or Q&As like this one, he's like, I know more things about you than I do about some of my friends.
Yep.
Right? And so that definitely, it does make people sort of feel that, like, that we're very close.
Yep.
Right? Which is cool. It's only a problem when someone's like, you know, when you meet someone and they're like, you know, I'm like, hey, I'm Graham, and they're like, yeah, I know. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need to know your name.
Yeah, it's not like it's only when we go to like PAX or other conventions that this ever really comes up. And it's not that bad as long as you don't kind of expect us to know things about you, obviously. Right?
Yeah.
Like I'll have a conversation with a fan who comes up to the table, and they'll know a bunch of stuff about me, but I don't know anything about you.
Yeah, you like. I think it's cool, and obviously we are voluntarily putting ourselves out there. But you need to appreciate that you've spent way more time with us than we've spent with you.
Yeah.
In fact, we've probably spent no time with you. Not that we wouldn't like to. We don't know who you are.
Can I tell a fun story?
Sure.
All right. Graham and I just went to PAX Australia for the first time. And because it was just me and Graham there, and we had Penelope, we recruited some members of our community to help us run our merch booth. And it was a bunch of people, like a couple people that we'd met before, which was really nice. It was Antitonic, who's been in chat. He might not be in chat right now because I don't think it's a great time, Australian time. And some other people. essentially, and whose usernames I don't know. And it was
Is an Insect was one of them.
yes, but I don't like. And then
The story's about.
yeah. So anyhow, we spent the whole weekend working with these people and sort of getting to know them, and like at the end of the day, it was like, oh yeah, the kind of people who like our stuff generally kind of like the same things we like because we do stuff about things that we like.
Punk rock zoologist, of course.
Yeah, punk rock zoologist who's in the chat, and then there was Freya and Amy and Nick, and I believe that was everybody. I mentioned Antitonic and Pascal.
Yes, right.
So yeah, there was 6 people, and it was very busy, and we didn't mean to work you that hard. But at the end of the weekend, I was all like, "Oh, I just made a whole bunch of new friends because I actually spent like several hours getting to know people and like sort of reciprocating our end of the relationship." And I was like really sad that Paxos was over because I was like, "Oh, I don't get to see any of these people again because they all live in Australia." So so it's always like fun to meet our fans because you're like, "Oh, we have things in common." It's really nice, right?
Also,
we're big nerds. You're big nerds.
Also, doing things online so that other people may recognize your face when you don't know theirs is a great way to remind you to behave yourself in public. Every once in a blue moon, just from Desert Bus, like once this year on the train, I was on the train in Vancouver with my mom just doing errands, and on Twitter when I got home I saw somebody be like, "Oh, I saw you on the train today," but I didn't want to like interrupt and say hi, and I was like, "Oh, right, once in a blue moon that happens," and it's not like I go throw temper tantrums in public, but some days you're having a bad day and you're grumpy to the stranger on the bus. It reminds you to be nice to the stranger on the bus even when you're grumpy. They might know who you are.
My best friend Adam, who's been in like a few very old Loading Ready Run videos, always takes great delight in telling me when he works with somebody who knows who Loading Ready Run is, and they're even like remotely impressed and like that he knows that he's friends with Kathleen. And so he's always like, "I met somebody who was excited to meet me the other day," and I'm like, "What a change."
I was in the middle of saying shout outs also too, and then Corvus popped up in chat and was like, "Hey," and to Justine,
yes,
who helped us out watching the Tiny Bab.
All right, let's get one more question in.
All right.
Everybody gets to answer this question.
Okay.
This is from 8rin.
All right.
It says, "What's your favorite challenge you've ever participated in?" Love you guys. Well done for all your hard work over the last 10 years.
That's so tough because the anglerfish thing wasn't a challenge. Kathleen just did that.
That's just me.
I wasn't even participating. I was.
I mean, it
watching
could just be
in awe.
like let's just sort of turn it into your favorite, like one of your favorite Desert Bus. It doesn't need to be your like all-time favorite, but like one of your top favorite Desert Bus moments.
Okay, this is a classic moment. I love that during Desert Bus 3, Bill got so distracted singing "Don't Stop Me Now," he crashed the bus. And we had an amazing total going at that time, but he was so into the song. He was just like, "Don't stop me." Oh, it was great. It was great.
We
were like really upset at the time. It was just perfect.
We made a 4-layer human pyramid.
Yes.
Oh, we're doing higher than this year.
The roof
How?
was our only limit last time.
We have so much more space and height and ladders this year.
The problem is not that. The problem is the physical weight of a human being.
Oh, we're fine.
Search is on the bottom.
We got this. Johnny?
Oh, I don't know.
But if we're doing 5, that means I'm on the bottom.
I guess I was probably challenged to ride that bike that I don't remember doing.
Oh, actually, I believe you discovering that you rode that bike afterwards is also a great point, because you were just like, somebody put the GIF up and you're like, "Wow, when did we bring an exercise bike in here? Look at all these people who rode it." I rode it. That was a good moment.
In Desert Bus 8, I believe, as I was about to leave, I was surprised and taken to the gay bar by Tally and Kathleen. And let's just say, having them feed me fruit and like just massage my hair was the most wonderful moment.
We actually recreated that GIF the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty good. One of my favorite moments was it last year? It was last year I cut Tally's hair, right? Was that last year?
Yes.
Coming out with the horse head and giving Tally a haircut.
God, that was so terrifying.
That was pretty good. It was like, was it the horse head or a unicorn head?
It was
I can't
the horse
remember.
head.
It was a horse head.
It was very scary.
That was among one of my favorite things that we've ever done.
And
at
especially
Desert Bus,
since
for sure.
we didn't tell everyone in the room it was happening. And Ashley's face.
No one knew. Most people didn't know.
Yeah. Matt?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess the Bus King pageant is probably high on the list for me.
Yep.
I still don't really know where that came from, but hey, it was fun.
I want to say that someone challenged us to do like a beauty pageant or something, and then Kathleen was like, no, wait.
Well, it
No,
was
we're-
Carrie. Carrie
Yeah.
realized that it was a pun
Right.
and said,
Yes.
said something about it, and then
Bust
he took
king.
it and ran from there.
Yeah, let's busking, and I was like, no, a bus king.
Yeah.
Ooh, yes.
Ben,
And then Matt made it perfect.
you can answer if you'd like.
Yeah, you've been here.
You've been here. They just showed a GIF of you at number 7.
It's one of my favorite gifts.
I know, I really like that gift a lot.
Friendship?
That's really good, yeah.
Friendship.
But I mean, I'm a sucker for the really goofy Mortal Kombat stuff.
That's fair.
The mashups last year. Oh no, wait. Okay, hang on. Last year's the mashups when Darren and I were doing 2013 to Thomas the Tank Engine.
my God.
And what song were we reading? We were reading the Wikipedia entry. We were reading the Wikipedia plot synopsis for Shrek to the tune of All Star by Smash Mouth.
Yeah.
That was good.
It turned out so well.
It turned out surprisingly well.
I was
And
watching it with my sister, and she's just like, "Did they rehearse this?" And I was like, "Oh, absolutely not."
No.
She was very impressed.
No, that's not a thing. The fact that we rehearsed our opening number this year was like so
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
The friggin' scissor lift thing this morning, that was our first try.
Yeah.
Tally.
Serge hadn't even heard the song.
Well, I mean, there are so many, and people have mentioned some of the ones that I love too. I also, this is hailing a ways back to maybe Desert Bus 4, I think. But I have very fond memories of laughing my face off with absolute joy when Ashton was challenged to perform Baby Got Back in an Afrikaans accent. He grew up in South Africa.
You get
And he
sprung.
rocked it, and it was just amazing. And I still love remembering that moment. I've also found it a very remarkable, interesting experience this year, learning to embrace my inner darkness. That's certainly been a journey.
Also, I don't know if it was a challenge, but I think it was actually just an idea Jer had. I loved reading the Werner Herzog synopsis of going to the store.
Oh my gosh! Well, both
Wow.
Werner Herzog challenges, that one and the slowed down Duck Army from last year are
Oh, man.
complete highlights for me. Having Cam read all those Werner Herzog Duck Art, like 3-minute long Duck Army, because for a recap, we extended the Duck Army video to 3 minutes, just slowing it down, and it's just got this amazing drop to it where you know that the is coming.
He's doing like a online like classes for something right now, and so I keep getting these pre-roll ads on YouTube that before you can hit skip, it's just Werner Herzog going, "It's like death staring you in the face when you look at the camera," and I'm like, skip. Like I love Werner Herzog, but it's just like, gah.
It's 9 a.m. Werner Herzog.
Yeah, come on. I'm trying to watch K-pop here.
So I had thought that my favorite was like the vampire dress-up business that we discussed earlier. Like that's where that came from yesterday. Was actually a question similar to this. After watching that video and going, "Oh my god, I'm an awful person. I hope that video gets buried forever again." Yeah, I'm not sure, but definitely the Herzog moments were great. There was another one that I was thinking of though too that just popped into my mind and is now gone. Definitely cutting Tally's hair last year, and the look on Ashley's face, the look of abject horror on Ashley's face as I ran off, pranced into the distance with her hair was priceless.
I think I came in that night and you were just by the front door, just holding the hair in your
Yeah.
hand, and I was like, "What happened?"
Creepy.
I mean, I don't know about favorite, but I gotta say that the most terrifying thing that has ever happened to me is having everyone cut my beard.
Yeah.
Because those shears were unbelievably sharp.
And there was one that got a little too close to your face.
Oh, that was Kate. That
Yeah.
was Bill's mom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she was like, "Oh, you're all being just your baby in it," and she just went. I mean,
stripe of flesh that was just barely.
It's
still
like, and for the rest of the like run, you can see that like my mustache is askew because it's so much shorter on the one side than it
Well,
was
something was happening and we like couldn't finish it, so you were just sitting there holding this Tupperware with your beard hair for like several minutes.
I know what it was. It was the call happened with Max
cards,
and,
right.
and Tommy and
Yeah.
Mike Boxlighter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Secret Hitler guys, and so it's like that all kind of happened all at the same time, and it was this whirlwind, and I think they were all a little drunk. on top of it, yeah, it was a little intense.
All right.
Okay.
That is going to do it. We went a little past, but I hope you guys enjoyed it.
You.
Yeah. Matt and I guess, are going to run off and finish answering a whole bunch of these questions for you guys in text form like we normally do with the Reddit AMA thing. And we'll get back to
Is
the
there anything
insanity
specifically you need
of-
to ask any of us? Feel free to come back.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's